Let's face it, as Nintendo fans, we are often left slightly disappointed and scratching our heads asking why. Where is our Super Mario Galaxy 3? Why isn't Metroid out yet? Bring back the Ice Climber seriously, and what were you thinking of the Virtual Boy? Well, sit back as Sean Capri and Bobby Pauls do just that. That's right, this is If We Ran Nintendo. Now, cue the music, maestro.
What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 3 of If We Ran Nintendo. This is a special edition. This is myself, Bobby, the Nintendo Guru, along with my very good friend, Sean Capri. What's up, Sean?
Hi, Bobby. It's good to be friends with you today.
I say it's a little different, it's a little special, because we're actually doing an interview shortly here, and we will click over to that eventually at some point, probably about 10 minutes or so. But in the meantime, well, you know what, let's get into that. So we're interviewing, I know for a fact that we're interviewing Evan, who is associated with Mother to Earth, which is a documentary that's trying to be kickstarted. It is based around, as we know it, Earthbound beginnings, but Mother 1. And apparently there's like all this crazy stuff that took place to why it never really came to the United States. And that's basically what it's all about. But I don't want to get into all that just yet, just because he's not here, and I'd rather kick it over when he gets in. But, so we started this podcast, was it about, I'd say 4 weeks ago now, right? Give or take. Mm-hmm. If We Ran Nintendo. And I think last week we
feel a little awkward this week.
yeah, because you know what? We came out, we're like, we're gonna launch the NX. We're gonna tell you how it's gonna be. And Nintendo, just like Nintendo, went a totally different direction.
They waited only 2 episodes into our run here before totally discrediting.
Yeah. And it was funny because, like, I was getting, you know, I was sending you a message today. We're getting a little bashed here and there, and you know,
the internet, weird.
Yeah, it was lovely. I enjoyed it thoroughly. The bashing I got, basically telling us that, like, you know, oh, it's so, the one is the best. The one, this is the best. I gotta read this because this is classic internet, and I love it. It made me laugh because I you know, normally old me would have been like bashing and fighting back, and I said, you know what, I don't want to do this. But Gabe Hills, what's up,
Gabe?
He starts off and he says, apparently YouTubers know how to run a multi-billion-dollar video game company. You guys should start one or start your own. And I saw that and I was like, ouch. That's harsh. That's brutal.
But also, we didn't see that one coming when we started the podcast. It was over. Nintendo. Yeah, that was never going to happen.
Yeah, that was gonna happen a million times. We were expecting it. It's fine. But I basically said, I said to him, it's just a fun show we do. You know, we know and we say that we expect to be wrong 99.9% of the time. Like episode 0, we said that you actually said that wholeheartedly. Like, we are never going to get it right. And we don't expect to get it right. And it was more like, you know, this is just more like tongue-in-cheek. It's not necessarily like we don't believe that we can't run Nintendo. We don't believe that by any stretch of the imagination.
Speak for yourself. I'm just kidding.
I can't run Nintendo. Sean Capri, a.k.a. Reggie Fils-Aimé. But before I go into that real quick, but Gabe did come back and he was like, hey, man, I was breaking stones, kind of being a little bit of trollish, you know, throwing some shade at you guys. I'm sorry. He actually he subscribed to the channel. Thank you so much for that, Gabe. Actually went in, left a couple comments, and then actually said that he enjoyed the show and had a good time with it. So thank you for that, Gabe. I appreciate that. But I just think I'm not doing this to for people to bash Gabe or hate on Gabe. I thought it was actually funny when I read it. I started laughing hysterically. But at the end of the day, I never expected, Sean expected, to be able to run Nintendo. And it's more just tongue-in-cheek. It's kind of just here's the way I looked at it. Everybody says, oh, Nintendo's stupid. Look at, just right now, go on the internet right now and type in Nintendo NX or Zelda U. And everybody's bashing Nintendo right now. But not one person is coming up with, well, I would do this. That's where me and Sean come in. And that was the whole premise of this was hey, anybody could sit there and say Nintendo's stupid for doing this, that, and the other. We don't feel Nintendo stupid at all. We just wanted to give an alternative to hey, here's something that we would try, Mm-hmm. So that said, how do you feel about what went down?
You're asking me specifically, or we should ask everybody else there too. Leave a comment.
I'm asking you, Sean.
Okay, well, I want to open it up to them too. I feel okay. I have to admit, when I heard the news, I was disappointed. But then I don't know if this is 7 stages of grief or something, because I was the immediate shock, and then I immediately went into denial. Yeah. I started thinking, there's no way this is true. I heard, I was tweeting out at Sean Capri, Sean like Hunter Capri like the pants. March 2017 doesn't sound like a date that you launch a console in, which immediately got shoutbacks for that's when the Vita and the 3DS launched. I'm not thinking handheld. I'm thinking console launch. March seems like a weird time to me. We talked about this last week about how November is actually more traditional for them, and the fall in general is generally when you have console launches. Yes. So I went into disbelief mode. I didn't think that March was a good time, and I was trying to think about, is this really the way that they're revealing the launch window for it? Mm-hmm. It doesn't seem to make sense for me, but I could see them still committing to this. I'm almost not wanting to call it an announcement, because it's not. It was minutes on an investors meeting. Yes. So it's so weird. I don't understand it. To me, it seems more like a placeholder. It seems like by the end of fiscal year 2017, the NX will launch. It's
a pretty specific placeholder if it's a placeholder.
But it's the end of the fiscal year. It's almost like when you pre-order a game that doesn't have a release date, Amazon will say December of that year.
But they're saying March 17th, 2017. They're being pretty specific with that.
I didn't see that date. I didn't see that.
I could have sworn I saw that. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm wrong.
You might be.
Let me digress.
You're the Nintendo guru.
Yeah, but I'm probably wrong on that. I thought I saw March 17th, but that could have been somebody just put that. It could have been somebody just put March 2017. Okay, so let's back out of that, because that's stupid.
Okay, so yeah, I was disappointed, and then I was in disbelief, and then I started to think about, is Zelda dictated? Is the progress on the development of Zelda and maybe a few other games that would be the launch games, is that dictating the launch of this console? And as soon as I started to open my mind up to that, I'm actually totally okay with that.
Yeah.
The console might be ready. Yeah, if we need games for it to that.
Yeah, totally I don't think Zelda's the issue. I think other games is the issue. They can't launch with one game. And I know a lot of people are upset, and I just feel like, be patient. I think we should be happy that Nintendo did this. And here's why I say that. There's a couple of reasons. One, they're not rushing it. They could have easily been like, nope, we got to do it right now. We got to do it now. And then they would have launched it in November, like everybody expected, or a little bit earlier, like we had predicted. Not predicted, but we said we would have done. And what would have happened? We would have had 1 or 2 games tops, and everybody would have been screaming like, this is garbage. And it would. I think it would have hurt them badly. I think that they pumped the brakes and they said, hold on. Let's make sure that we have more games. And not only that, the timing for me is ideal. In the United States, we typically get our taxes back the end of February to April. We get tax returns. This year in particular, I went out and I bought a brand new iMac computer and an iPad Pro and my iPad Pencil. Every year, that's what me and my wife do typically, is we like, you know, one year we bought a refrigerator. You know, one year we bought whatever. Like, we consistently will just kind of blow that money, you know? Like, it's kind of like, well, hey, you know, it is what it is. It's found money, per se. And I guarantee you there's a lot of people that are in my camp when it comes to this. If that's what your country does. In the United States, fortunately, that's what we do. Every tax season, that's basically what happens. So I feel like that's ideal for a United States launch in that time frame, because think about it. If you don't get it for Christmas, the odds are you're broke for Christmas. You don't have a lot of money. Now, a lot of people will take that money and pay bills. Sometimes Tony and I will do that. We'll pay off credit cards and stuff that we spent. You know, a couple times we've gone on Disney World vacations where we've taken that money and put it towards our spending money to go away with. So there's a lot of things. So I think that that's not really a bad time to launch a console. If you're going to do it, you either do it Christmas, when you know everybody's going to spend money, or you do it when everybody's got money and that's tax season. So I'm not necessarily too upset about it.
To me, it actually, like, if this is going to, so if I'm coming out of disbelief mode, and if I'm actually thinking that this is actually going to happen, I totally like it because of the reason that you brought up. You get the excitement around the launch of it, like the launch itself, and then you actually get a second chance to get everybody pumped about it when Christmas time does come around. Yes. Because what ultimately ends up happening when you launch a console in the fall time, Black Friday comes around and you're not getting any deals. The thing is brand new. You don't get a deal on a brand new console. No. So it gives an opportunity for the launch to happen. That's something that everybody's going to be talking about. Then you get a second chance to maybe do a bundle or some sort of special holiday thing. You get, you know, those two chances within the same year rather than the one go. So I do like it. It's totally outside the box. And the other thing that came to mind was it was when we were talking with some people on Twitter about that's when handhelds are launched, like Vita and the 3DS. Does this lead us to think like it's the hybrid thing and it's happening all at once? Like maybe that's part of it.
It's possible. It's very possible. I mean, we're kind of in the dark now. Let's back it up. A lot of people are saying that they're upset that it's not an E3 and this and the other. Let me explain something to the audience. E3 is the biggest video game event in the United States, not in the world. Gamescom is bigger. The Tokyo Game Show is starting to digress a little bit, but that's rivals E3. So, and I think that Nintendo's shown and proven to themselves or tried to tell people, we don't hold a lot of stock in E3. How many times have you watched an E3 presentation from Nintendo and 2 weeks later they're coming out with a Nintendo Direct where they're talking about stuff and people are going like, why didn't they talk about this 2 weeks ago? You know, like at the digital event or at E3. They don't hold a lot of stock in E3. Only Americans do. And yes, a lot of the world does, but it's not like when the digital event hits, you know, like Toby and them guys, they're staying up until midnight, 1, 2 in the morning or whatever to watch it. So it's not like they're getting their own special thing. It's coming basically off of E3. The United States media, the media has made it bigger. And that's the other thing. It's not fan friendly. It's not like you and I can't
like casual fan. Oh yeah, I see what you mean.
We couldn't go. Yeah. You know, we could try. You know, we could try to hook up with and get different connections, but it takes a long time to get press credentials to get into this thing. It's not fan friendly at all. So, and there are some fans that get in there. I'm not gonna make it like, but it's not as prevalent as like Comic-Con or Gamescom or Tokyo Game Show or a lot of these other things that like PAX. It isn't a PAX by any stretch of the imagination. So I was saying this to Alan Paxton in the Geekcast.
What's up, Alan?
What's up, Alan? I was saying to him, like, it doesn't faze me, or I don't think the E3 is a big a deal. Like, I could see them dropping. There's a lot of game shows, gaming conventions from E3 to March. Mm-hmm. There is Gamescom. There is Tokyo Game Show. There is a couple more PAXs. I actually think the original PAX is still to come.
PAX Prime.
Yeah, I think you're looking at Nintendo just going a different route, and it's not that big a deal. I don't think it's as big. It's the same thing as, like, when you listen to all the people screaming, like, why don't they go stage? Why don't they go on stage? 90% of the people complaining is the media. Fans, like,
unfortunately,
gamers,
they're the ones with the voice.
Well, yes, but what I'm saying is like, it doesn't faze me because I'm basically getting the same thing. The only thing that's, like, I'm watching them talking to me and telling me what's coming out. The only difference is I don't hear a crowd cheering. But I'm on my Twitter feed and I'm watching that thing blow up. You know what I mean? Like, So to me, it's like more interactive than.
Well, for me, they need to differentiate a little bit, because it seems right now that all Nintendo Directs are created the same. So you have, the things that we've gotten in the past where it's almost like this winter update, and these are the games that are coming out in the next little while. It looks and feels very similar to, like, you go through the same process of loading up your computer and watching that video. It feels very similar then to the E3 thing. But I want to pat ourselves on the back here too and just say, we said last week when we said we're launching the NX, we wouldn't announce at E3. Yeah. So we're in line with that, actually. We know that's not going to happen. Obviously, we know that it's, that's what they told us.
They're talking about doing but we did say, like, we would have it on the floor and let
as a follow-up. But I think that's the same. I think that this will still happen in the same, maybe, like, progression, where you have, like, a reveal that is like a Nintendo Direct, but then you do need to have some sort of major presser to have everybody kind of come in. So I think we're still going to see that just change names.
The one thing we did do is we did say that, like, something would come out of the financials, which did. Yep. A little bit more came out of the financials than you and I had said that we would release. Yep. But we also said that there would be an event separate where we would kind of show off and announce that the NX is coming. And they did say that we're going to have a separate event and come out with it. I really think it's going to be after E3. I think they're just going to come out with a Direct. It could be before E3. Because think about it, like, last year they did, like, a Direct 2 days before their actual digital event. Mm-hmm. So they just do weird things. And I think a lot of people are upset. They just need to calm down, have faith. Nintendo's been down this road. They know what they're doing.
E3 could be very crowded this year too. We know PlayStation has VR coming up. We think they're coming out with 4.5. Yes. Starting to get rumblings again about Xbox having some new hardware. Like, they could just be getting out of the way. Yeah. So not only of E3, but also the launch being in March.
And that's the thing. If you think about it, coming in March, there's nobody around. Nothing. Yeah. They own it. It's the smartest. The more I think about it, look, I have a reaction video kind of on my YouTube page where I filmed that morning when everything went down, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I just woke up. I feel like I'm still in a dream. I did. I felt like I was in a dream. I was like, this is nuts. What's going on here? And as time progressed and as things progressed, I was just like, yeah, I kind of agree with what they're doing here. I think that, like, it's for the best of Nintendo to do it this way. Does it stink? Yes. Is it the end of the world? And that's basically what I say in my video. It's not the end of the world. Like, okay, it's not the I said this to Alan again today. I said, look, last year they announced before E3, we're not going to show Zelda. Everybody flipped out. Everybody was mad. Everybody was raging. This year they go, hey, we're not going to show the NX, but we're going to give you all the Zelda you can stomach. And they're still flipping out. It's one of those, it's damned if we do or damned if we don't. And it's like, I would rather them just take their time and get this right than rush it. Everybody says they want Nintendo to bounce back and come back strong. Rushing will not do that. And you just need to take their time and make sure that what they're doing is right. It feels to me they're doing the right thing. They're making the right moves. So
This is definitely a long game. This is a rougher transition than I think most people were looking for in between consoles, where you have Xbox 360 and PS3 leading into the next generation, and it's more of a blending where this is, I feel like Wii U is cut, like we've actually cut the cord from it, we're separate, and now we're floating a little bit. So I sympathize with fans because it feels like we're just a little bit lost right now. It's something to be concerned for if you're actually running Nintendo, because with every month that passes by that nothing is happening with Nintendo, we're just losing fans. We're just dropping off as fans, going somewhere else. And it's another chance for Sony or Microsoft to swoop in just more of these Nintendo fans that are falling off the edge.
And at the end of the day, and when I say this, I don't want to look. I'm not trying to make people think like I'm pointing fingers at people and going like, "Oh, you messed up." At the end of the day, the fans are to blame, and I'm included in that when I say that. Like, we're the ones that hyped this up. We're the ones that were like, "It's coming, it's coming, it's coming," because the rumors started coming out, and we started trying to read the tea leaves, and we were wrong. Nintendo never came out and said, if Nintendo came out and said, "We're coming out November, just before Christmas, we're going to have this is our lineup," and then all of a sudden they go, "Hey guys, we're wrong, we're going to come out in March," then I can see you being upset.
Yeah.
I get the Zelda thing, but at the end of the day, they're doing what they feel is best for business, and it's a strategy move, is all it is, and I'm fine with it. If I have to wait 6 months, 4 months to play Zelda, it is what it is. It's not I'm not happy about it, but I'm not mad about it either. And I'm curious to see in actuality, and I tweeted this out today, they have lowered expectations so low that they could literally blow it out the park at this E3 and wow everybody. Because when you thought about it and you said they're going to talk about NX, nope, that's gone. Okay, they're going to talk about NX games, nope, that's gone. They're going to talk about mobile. Not really, because they've already announced their 2 mobile games that they're coming out with in the fall. What do they have? And when they go, when they say like the only thing we're showing, and that's the thing that people have to understand. And I'm talking directly to you, Alan Paxton.
What's up, Alan?
They're showing playable Zelda. That's not the only Wii U game going to be there. That's the one that's going to be playable on the floor, not the one that they're going to show during the digital event and show during their Treehouse Live stuff. So people just need to digress a little bit, take a deep breath, and everything will be okay. I assure you.
I'm panicked.
Oh, stop it.
I am panicked. You always tell me to relax. Here's why I'm panicked, and maybe we can just discuss this, and we'll jump into interview or whatever. Or we sell mobile too, if you want to talk about that. How does Nintendo talk about Zelda U, which we now know is launching alongside the NX version?
Mm-hmm.
How do you have an E3 talking about what I am now considering to be an NX game? Mm-hmm. I will be buying the next Zelda game on the NX.
Yeah.
Maybe on the Wii U for a collector's item, but I probably won't play because I'll have the NX version. Yeah. But to me, the next Zelda game is an NX game. How do you have an E3 talking exclusively or mainly about Zelda NX for a game that is coming out on a console that we haven't announced yet? Like, that to me is because do you get what I mean? Like, it's so unbalanced that
I don't think it is.
Put the cart before the horse a little bit.
Essentially, it's the same game. It doesn't matter if it's for the NX. It doesn't matter if it's for the Wii U. It's the same game.
I don't like it.
It's the same.
Because nobody cares about the Wii U anymore. We care about the NX.
That's not true. Listen, we are snobs. We are elitists. We are video game elitists that are looking to buy an NX. There's a lot of people out there. Of the 11 million units that were sold, there's a lot of them that won't jump on day one. And that will buy it on the Wii U. Yes, granted, there's a lot that'll buy it on the NX, but it will sell on the Wii U. And I'm going to buy it on the Wii U. I'm going to buy it on the NX. I don't know that I'll play it on the Wii U, but I'll definitely buy it on the Wii U.
Regardless, how do you talk about a game like we know it's an NX game? It's just weird to me that, you know what I mean? Like that we're going to be talking about a game That's
Okay.
going to be released on a console that hasn't been even announced yet. We don't even know anything more than its code name, NX.
Because they're just gonna show off the game. They're not gonna. It's not good. I don't feel like the NX version is gonna have different features. It's gonna be the same game, I think, just prettier. That's it. You may have a couple extra enemies on the screen than you normally would because the processing power can run a little better. I just think. See, this is why I'm excited. Because the little bit of clips, the little bit of Zelda that we've seen has blown everybody out of the water. Mm-hmm. And they're excited for this. Now just think. You're going to watch this whole thing unfold, and you're going to see this Zelda U, and you're going to be in the back of your mind, you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't wait to see it on the NX. Can't wait to see how good this thing's going to be. And that's where I fall. I fall into that line where I'm just like, hey man, this is going to be awesome. I can't wait.
So gameplay footage will be Wii U captured, do you think?
Yeah, gameplay footage is going to be strictly Wii U. Yeah. They're going to stick with the Wii U stuff, and it is what it is. You know, hey, because here's the thing. My heart of hearts feels that either we get the NX announcement, like the official NX announcement, in a direct form, either pre-E3 or post-E3. Yeah. But when I say that, like, I know people are like, oh, okay, rocket scientists, like they've already said it's not going to be E3, so it's either going to be one or the other. What I'm saying is like it's going to be very close to E3. Like, so I think it'll be like
talked about last week.
Yeah, like a week, 2 weeks prior, or week, 2 weeks after E3, they'll come with a Nintendo Direct, speak directly to us, and tell us what's going on. And I think when that hits, that's when they're going to go, hey, remember all that footage we showed you? This is what it's going to look like on the NX. And
that's what I mean. Like, how much more powerful is the Zelda reveal that we get when we know what the next console is? Even if we just got the name, the Nintendo Entertainment System 2 X or whatever we said.
Yeah.
How much better is E3 knowing even just the name of the console that game is coming out for? How do you even talk about this is Zelda and it's coming out for Wii U and the NX?
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's
turning my stomach.
Oh,
I'm losing sleep.
Stop it. All right, listen, we're going to cut it off now.
I'm sad it's over.
We're going to stop at this point. We will be back next week. Like, we're going to do this special episode that'll probably air Sunday, Monday-ish. We're going to come back with an actual episode and go into our normal thing and record again this coming week. So this is just kind of like a extra little addition for people. But at this point, we're gonna stop this talk. I'm gonna bring in Evan and I think Joshua from Mother to Earth, and we're gonna get into that kind of talk and stuff. So we will be back in 1 second.
I love you.
Okay, so we are back now, and we have Evan and Quincey from Mother to Earth with us. Guys, if you want to introduce yourselves to everybody, go ahead.
Hey, I'm Evan Butler. I'm producer and director, well, one of the producers and directors of Mother to Earth, a brand new documentary out on Kickstarter right now about Earthbound beginnings and the super secret underground world of like super high stakes, high cash underground video game trading and selling and stuff like that.
Nice.
And I'm joined today by my lovely production assistant. Say hey.
Hi, I'm Quincy Pringle. I'm the community manager and production assistant of the documentary Mother to Earth, now on Kickstarter, as Evan just delightfully explained. So my job is just to manage like social media feeds, do email communications, reach out to people and stuff like that. So that's my job.
Nice. Okay, so let's just dive right into this. All right, so obviously you guys are fans of video games, at least of Mother Earthbound series. But if you could tell us a little bit of your gaming background, like how you guys, what got you started?
Evan, you want to go first?
I'll go first. So I got my first video game as a result of learning my ABCs. My dad got me Donkey Kong Country for the Super Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that explains a lot, actually.
Oh, it's so old.
And that set me on a course of addiction for the rest of my life.
Nice. How about you, Quincy?
Well, my family, like, they didn't want to whatever. So they got like this secondhand NES, and even though I was born in '96, oddly enough, my first system was the NES. And then a couple years later, I got a Sega Genesis. A couple years after that, I got a Super Nintendo. So we were all kind of like secondhand. And then eventually, I got a GameCube, and it went on from there. So I grew up playing like Mario Brothers 3, Sonic 3 Knuckles, Mario World, stuff like that.
Nice.
So
That's good.
Awesome.
yeah.
So, since a lot of this is Earthbound, Mother related, and all that stuff, which of the Mother series games do you guys kind of hold near and dear to your hearts?
Okay, so I think, like, if you held a gun up to my head, I would tell you that the best game in the series is the third one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I like the second one the most because even though, like, as much of a fan of the series as I am, I think the second game has a lot of flaws. Stuff like difficulty curve, inventory management. There's some problems with it, but I still like it a lot. I feel like it has sort of like this unique draw to it. I don't know how I could put it in words. Something about how the world feels to me. It feels a bit more alive or like engaging than the third game. I don't know. That's the nearest and dearest one to me.
Mother 2 is pretty cool. Mother 3 is okay. Confession time. I've only ever played Mother 3 in Japanese, so I don't know. Yeah, I beat it. Like, I ordered it and I got it like express sent to me from Japan when it came out back in like 2006. Something like that. Yeah, I think it was 2006.
Yeah, because it was 10 years. It was the anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, and I got it sent to me, so I had it like a few days after it launched, imported from Japan, and I just played it all the way through, just mashing buttons and trying every option because context clues.
Yeah, that was my first time too playing the game.
I feel like I would really enjoy it. I just have to get around to playing it.
Are you just making up story as you go along? Like, I've always heard people talk about this, that they play these Japanese import games, and I'm going like, I don't even know how you're making things happen, let alone know what is going on and what to do next.
Yeah.
What I've never had explained to me, so I'm very curious.
Yeah, especially like an RPG.
Yes.
Like I play like
very
inventory
language.
I can't speak it, but I can sure as hell, I know what the symbols are for like baseball bat and yo-yo. Like, I'll tell you that much.
Wow.
Yeah, that's like a Samurai Pizza Cats effect kind of, where it's like you go through and you don't know what's going on, so you sort of like make up a completely different story. I can see that.
Context clues.
Yeah.
Sean, take the next one.
Sorry?
Do you have the questions in front of you or no?
No, man, I'm not that prepared. I apologize, guys.
All right, I'll take the next one. Get your questions up.
Okay.
This podcast is a sham. I'm out of here.
You're not the first to realize it.
Don't talk to me or my son ever again.
Oh God.
So how does the Mother to Earth documentary begin in terms of like how does the ball get started? Like where do people meet? Like where does this all come about? Like where's the starting process for all this?
The starting process is some Earthbound fans got together and this is for, I think it was the 20th celebration of the Mother series, which was a couple years ago now. And so we all sort of got together.
Are you talking about the FanFest in Starman?
Yeah, and we all sort of got together and we got super into the sort of history behind it, and like a few years of just like research and talking to people and phone calls and interviews, we realized that we honestly had enough information to like a YouTube video or like a blog post just was not going to cover it at all.
Yeah, there's so many different like angles and people involved with it, because I mean you have to talk about how the original protos like leaked from Nintendo. You have to talk about the people who like localized the game in the first place before it was re-released on the Wii U. Then you have to talk about how the prototypes got released onto the market, then how like they got into collectors' hands and how they like jumped around and around. So there's like, we found out that there was way too much just to like talk about in like a single video or
and there's bits and pieces of this entire story spread out, like hidden on like super outdated websites and old forums, and a lot of people are like, oh, this is just a story that you can find online, and stuff like that. And the truth of the matter is we have more information than has ever been published before. We went to the source. We have like hour, 2-hour long interviews that we've done. We've done countless phone calls, email exchanges. We have a ton of information that's just never, that's like locked up inside people's heads right now.
Yeah.
And so we were like, what do we do? And so I called the other producer, Joshua. I called him in the middle of the night, like I think it was 2 summers ago, and I was just like, this was right after Earthbound Beginnings for the Wii U had been released for the Virtual Console.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was like 2 days after that, and I called him up, and it's like, we have to do something. And I said, we have to like make a blood pact right now to do something with all this freaking information that we have. This whole story that we just didn't do anything with. We just had all this stuff, and we just didn't do a single thing with the story. And we're like, all right, screw this. Let's go the extra mile, and let's make the movie.
The thing that amazed me was, and I'm talking about just watching the clips on the Kickstarter page. The thing that amazed me was I didn't realize that the game was ported to come to the United States. I thought that it was just something that they never wanted to do. To find out that, like, not only did they port the game to come to the United States, but they also turned around and, like, made actual copies of the game. And that's what you guys are talking about, essentially, or that's what Quincy was referencing, is there's actual prototype copies of this game that people have. And that's, to me, that's just crazy to think that. And I never thought it got to that level, to be honest with you. So that's what has my interest, is to hear more, because I just heard that little clip and I was like, man, I want to know all the stuff that just went down with that. So, okay, so how do you decide we got to go to Kickstarter with this? Like, where does that conversation start up, and where does it go to?
Okay, so
sorry,
I got this one. All right, so we decided that we wanted to do something, and we decided that a little YouTube video or blog post wasn't enough. We thought about a book, maybe, just writing it all up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, no one would read that. No one would ever read that. And so we got in contact with this guy named Christian Dietering.
Yep.
And there's a whole other entire funny, weird story about how I met him. And all three of our interactions, Joshua, me, and Christian's interactions, because there was one point when we were acting separately, but we were interacting with each other. And this was when there were Earthbound prototypes, like Mother 2.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody had uncovered some Earthbound prototypes, and this is how we all sort of were interacting with each other. But I ended up talking to Christian because of this incident, and I found out that he makes videos. He's a videographer. That's his job. Mm-hmm. So he does like videos in his free time about covering different events. He runs his own video game convention. So it's called Let's Play Convention down in Texas, and he was like, you should make a movie. Like, I'll work with you. He has all the equipment. He's got the lights, the fantastic, high quality industry camera. He has everything I would ever need. And he was just like, let's get to work on this stuff. And so we budgeted everything out. Luckily, he had made documentaries before, so he had an idea of what the budget would be. And then we went and we talked to all these people that would produce our backer awards, and we got more numbers for how much money it would cost to produce all these items, and how much it would cost to do like the post-production edits on the sound, and paying other people licensing and fees, and getting it on, getting the DVDs produced and the Blu-rays produced and all that stuff. And that's how we ended up with a number of $35,000.
Okay.
For making a documentary that we felt was like a professional documentary. My dream, my honest to goodness dream, is to have this on Netflix. Like, I know that sounds like a stupid dream.
No,
but I just thought it.
No, because you know what? I thought that today, because today I sat down and I started coming up with all these different questions that I could think of, and that was the one thing I thought of, was like, man, I wonder if this will be on Netflix. Like, I really thought that. I was like, because there's a lot of documentaries I watch on Netflix. Like, that's the main thing I use Netflix for, is because you can go click on documentary and there's all these crazy documentaries on there. So I thought it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome to have it on there.
Oh man! So my goal in life is to have some jerk that I went to high school with, turn on some Netflix documentary, right? And he's down for a little bit of Netflix and chill. He's got his girlfriend there, and and he's not paying attention to the TV. And then all of a sudden he hears, "Hey, I'm Evan Butler, and I'm here to talk about video games," and have him just throw down his girlfriend and stare at the screen. He's like, "How did you get in my TV? Oh, you were such a loser in high school, but now you're in movies."
That sounds like a deep-seated personal problem, and I think we should talk to someone about that.
Yeah, I think that's different. That's another show that Sean actually does. You can actually go on that show to Sean, and he can break it all down for you and make you better by the time it's done.
Yeah, that sounds like we could do a documentary just about Evan's psychological problems.
Exactly.
That'll be the next one.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Of all the people you have that you're doing these interviews with and all that stuff, who do you guys feel is your top get? Like the one that you were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we got this guy to do this interview."
Oh,
and we'll take that with both of you. Both of you can answer that question because I don't know if you have different ones or whatever. But so go ahead.
I think. Oh God, I'm trying to freaking. Why is this drawing a blank? Evan, what's the localizer dude's name?
Phil Sandhop. How do you not know that?
Jesus Christ. No, I have had the longest day ever. No, Phil Sandhop. Okay, so we got the guy who actually worked at Nintendo back in the day, who did the translations, who worked with the translators and the localizations of the script, and he's like the guy who put the game into English. We got him, and didn't we also get a play counselor guy too?
Yeah. Matt Alderman.
Yeah, and so we have because most of the other people in the movie are people who are like prototype experts or collectors or people who are familiar with that market. But we got guys who were not only from Nintendo, but they were from Nintendo there at the time and were involved with it. So I think that's going to give us that's where we've been able to get a lot of our really cool new information.
Mm-hmm.
So having those guys on board is just it's just the icing on the cake. It's just
honestly, we could just make a documentary just talking to them.
Oh, I can imagine. I can imagine the stuff that they have. Just locked in their brains.
Yeah, and we're just talking to them about one specific game that was never released. I would love to see. We actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this because, screw it, I'm going to say it. like 10 people are going to watch this. Nobody cares.
Wow. Holy cow.
But we may have bought a little over $1,000 worth of documents from one of the old school Nintendo counselors.
Oh wow!
Yep,
that's crazy.
Yeah, how they would have the binders and stuff like that when the people would call in on the tip lines and stuff like that.
Oh, you son of guns!
So we're projecting after making this movie to our net profit to be extremely negative.
Wow.
We have already spent a lot of money just, putting people together and meeting up and just...
You turn that into a book and you will sell them like crazy. Just take one game that they have and go, this is the actual guide that the counselors... Oh my God. Sean, you know that I would buy this, right?
I think you might, actually.
Tell the story about the eBay auction, how originally it got put on for $1 or something.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. That eBay auction was at $5 until the last 30 minutes, and then it went up to 12,300. I don't even know. No, wait, not 12,000. No, 1,235 or something.
So wait. So this thing was actually on eBay being auctioned off?
Yeah, no, and the crazy thing, it was on eBay being auctioned off by one of the people that we were going to interview, Matt Alderman.
Oh, man.
Who was a former... Yeah. And so, we ended up... I was like, oh, man, we got all this stuff. And he's like, hey, what's up, guys? Aren't I supposed to, talk to you in, a month? And we were like, crap.
That is crazy.
Yeah, our cameraman called me. He's just like, yeah, he said he knew me.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, so the question that hit me today was, has anybody reached out to eToy to try to get him to be part of this? Or
oh man. Okay, so Jeez.
Is that bad?
Okay, he is a Japanese celebrity.
Yes. As long as you're not crying, we're okay.
Are you okay?
No, I'm okay. It's just like we're nobodies. We are putting together this little stupid project in our own free time. We don't have enough star power. We don't have the money. We don't have the connections to even send him an email.
Listen,
That's what it is right now.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. All right, send the email because you never know. You don't have an idea. You don't have an inkling of an idea. He might even just send you a letter back with something that you can actually show and read. Like, I think that you're in a situation. Sean, here we go. You ready, Sean? This is my little pep talk.
He does this.
I like the pep talk.
I do this to him. I did this to Sean and Sean. But in all honesty, all jokes aside, this is an opportunity you have. You need to make sure that every stone is unturned with this thing. And I feel like even if the guy just writes a letter back and says, "Hey guys, I don't have the time. I appreciate the offer, but thank you, but no thanks." Just that is like a seal of approval to some degree. And you could be like, even if you don't even show it in the video, for you guys to go, "This guy acknowledged us." You gotta at least give it an effort. And I would honestly probably send a letter every day until he answered. Like,
oh God,
it's not going to hurt anything.
Not that tactic.
Quincy, you have a new job.
Quincy.
Oh God.
Hey, grab
Quincy,
the
start
coffee.
writing.
It's gonna be a long night, buddy.
But I think that you're in a situation where Itoy has talked to people in the past, and he is very open. And if you catch him at the right time, he will talk to you, even if it's for 5 minutes. He might even just do something. I think you are foolish if you don't at least give it a shot. I definitely would if I was.
Okay, now that you've insulted us.
Hey, you insulted me by saying 10 people are going to see this. So,
oh God.
Turnabout's fair play.
If you 10 guys out there listening to this, if you have any idea where we could even begin to try and maybe contact him, please let somebody know.
Okay, we do have.
We know somebody that knows somebody that knows. I don't know.
There's a lot here that we probably should not get into.
Yeah, you don't want to get into everything here.
Yeah,
save a little bit for your documentary.
Yeah. No, I don't even mean like that. I mean, there's just
we would have to beg. We would have to get to even try, and I'll do it. Screw it. I'll talk to some people.
The worst thing that can happen is they tell you no. So what? Yeah. You're no worse off than you already were.
Yeah, it's the phrase, "You miss 100% of the shots you don't take."
Exactly.
Try. Yeah.
There you go. The Canadian Sean got all excited for a second.
I want to flip it back to the Kickstarter though, guys, because I'm really curious of just this whole process that you're in right now. It sounds like you've got a ton of content. Everything is moving along. Where are you at with the Kickstarter right now, sort of in relation to how far along the project you are? Because it seems like, to me, like a Kickstarter happens and then the work starts. But you guys have tons of stuff already happening, and Kickstarter is sort of along the way. So why don't you tell people where you're at with Kickstarter and your goal a little bit? Let's plug it out a little bit too.
We wanted to make sure that when we got the Kickstarter started, we didn't want to make it look like, "Oh, you like Earthbound, we like Earthbound, give us money," because Earthbound is one of those, and the Mother series is one of those hot topics now where it's not really an obscure series anymore. It's, mainstream, no, but people who are classic Nintendo fans, people who just like retro gaming in general, they'll know about Earthbound at this point. Maybe not Mother 1, but they'll know about Earthbound. Yeah. And so you see a lot of stuff, especially games now getting compared to Undertale. No, did I say Undertale? Sorry. Yeah. Wow. I was going to say Earthbound. For example, Undertale, which is, it's came out and it was a huge hit. That was one that people compared to Earthbound a lot. And then I think, what was another one? Lisa the Painful. That was indie RPG, got released recently, and it was all kind of Earthbound. And so Earthbound's kind of this buzzword, I feel like, where people can use it as sort of like a marketing tool.
Mhm.
And so we wanted to make sure going into this, like, that people knew that like we were on top of this and we weren't just trying to like milk this for money. And so not to mention we already had a lot of research done in the first place, like what Evan said, because we started working, like, getting the information like 2 years ago. So that's wait, sorry, what was the original question again? How we were prepared? No, I mean,
Quincy, I got this.
okay, sorry.
I got this, Quincy. So you're wondering how far along we are with like Kickstarter and like how
like,
we have everything.
I can see it in front of me, but not everybody's looking at the Kickstarter in front of them. So just kind of talk about like, you know, how far along you are in terms of the project in relation to how far along you are with reaching your goal on Kickstarter. And does that keep you up at night?
Does it? So recently I went to PAX East last weekend. I talked to a lot of people who had run Kickstarters, and I told them, you know, my goal with the project is where I'm at, and they're like, no problem. Yeah. This is a slam dunk. Like every single person was just like, don't go to bed. You're fine. And like I'm really believing that we're about 1/3 of our goal of $35,000, which is a ton of money.
We're above a third. We are at almost 40-something%. Let me just double check. Okay, 38%. Yeah.
We're at 38%, so we're at about $13,000, which is fantastic, and that's a lot of progress, and we're really happy about that. We really hope that the last couple of week or a couple of days will really be successful, because that's what I've seen in pretty much every Kickstarter ever. Is like they're like, you know, doodle, and then like the last 48 hours they get like twice their goal and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, I expect this Kickstarter to be successful. I genuinely expect it to.
What are some of the coolest rewards that you're giving people at certain levels? Like, what are you guys kind of most excited to be giving back to backers?
Personally, I love. So we have a bunch of really talented artists on this movie. We have this guy Jorge Velez. Is it Velez? Is it Velez?
I don't
yes,
know
it is
how to pronounce
Velez.
this.
Okay. He's a animator on Archer, you know, the TV show, and he does a lot of video game fan art and stuff like that. He's extremely talented. He made our theatrical poster, and we also have a couple other artists, Audrey, Philip, and Marco. And you can see their stuff, like the links in the Kickstarter.
Mm-hmm.
They're all really talented artists.
If you guys in post-production want to throw up some sweet images of the mini posters and the posters that we have,
yeah, I will.
That would be
awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah, that way I don't look like more of an idiot than I am.
So reward-wise, we have a lot of really cool. Like the art is just amazing. We even have pogs. We have freaking pogs. We have a set of pogs.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I'm not supposed to tell anybody because this is supposed to be a secret. But a few people, it's a set of 8 pogs. But a few people will get a super secret special 9th pog.
Oh,
so
man.
Just randomly throw them there.
That's
Because we like little secrets like that. That is vaguely a running theme in this entire project. It's little secrets.
So if you slammer, you got to throw a slammer in there too.
Be quiet.
Be quiet.
Be quiet.
Stop.
Be quiet. You don't know anything. Jesus
my intuition. It's my
you
intuition.
ruined it.
My Canadian intuition.
Why?
Okay, so let's just, and I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer or anything.
Yeah,
like
no.
That. But let's say let's say the Kickstarter doesn't get the financing. Yeah. What do we do at this point? Like, what happens? Do you have a plan B in place, or? I mean, I would hate to think that, like, if it doesn't go, you guys go, okay, let's all just pack it in and go away.
Yeah. Well, something that I am 100% sure Evan agrees with, even though I've never talked to him about this before, is when you have, like, in the collecting market and stuff like that, when you have, like, a rare proto or something like that pop up, and you have, like, the collector buy it, and they just, like, keep it, and they don't dump it or anything like that, how, like, aggravating that can be when that information and that stuff is just kept and, like, hidden and stuff like that. So I think if this doesn't get funded, we could produce some kind of, like, mini YouTube special or something like that, or maybe just type it up in, like, a little short book or something like that, to where, like, it wouldn't be, I guess, the most ideal way to communicate a lot of the information, but that way the information is still out there, so people can know and, like, can understand the history, and it's not just, like, lost forever. So
That's very nice of you. I was going to give you a replacement answer, just the way fundraising can go. Lives are at stake here. If the fundraising goal is not met, people will die. So, or you could do it your way. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But
well, in that case,
Quincy, you look like you could use a sandwich or two at least.
Oh God.
You'll wither away into nothing.
Yeah.
We need to hit this fundraising goal. It is up to people right now to go over to the Kickstarter and pledge to this thing.
I think
that is how you fundraise.
Yeah, and
Quincy.
That's what Sean does. Sean does that as a profession. Like
Lives are at stake.
Yeah.
If you don't give right now, Quincy will not buy a Subway sandwich, and he will wither away in the middle of writing his next 365 letters.
Oh God.
Wait.
This is dire stuff.
So I think the other thing too is, I think that anybody listening to this or anybody that's been, seeing tweets and stuff, just share too. That's the thing. Like, that's the main thing. Like, if you don't have the money to donate, at least share the tweets that are going out. I fully intend, I know Sean will as well, like start doing Twitter campaign and start trying to get, because I really want to see this thing go through. I in my heart of hearts, I don't support Kickstarter a lot. Like I was telling Evan when we talked on the phone a couple days ago, like the only thing that I've ever kickstarted was a Veronica Mars movie, and I love the TV show. I thought the TV show was awesome.
I'm laughing with you. I'm sorry.
Me and my wife loved it, and then when that went off, we were like, we're in, and it was like I'm pushing 110%, and I love Earthbound wholeheartedly. Like that game means so much to me. And then last year, when at E3 when they announced Earthbound Beginnings, I was through the roof, and I was happy as hell about it. Like I have, you guys can't see it because the camera's just a little low, but I have like 2 amiibo. I got an amiibo all over me back here, but I have like, here's Lucas and Ness, but then in the package I also have Japanese ones, just because. Nice. And the reason why I kept them in the box, like a lot of my stuff I take out of the box, but the reason why I kept them in the box is because for so long that series just meant something to Japan because it was a Japanese basic, To me, like to go back to what you were saying, Quincy, is I don't feel like it's a cult classic anymore just because of Smash Brothers. Yeah. Smash is taking this thing to a whole nother level, and the fact of like that Lucas has never been in the United States before in terms of like Mother 3 never made it here other than like ROM hacks and fan translations and things of that nature. The fact that the fans would push and try to get Nintendo so badly to put Lucas into Smash and then bring him back in this game is just crazy to think.
Yeah, it's mind-blowing. Yeah. I didn't even expect him to come back.
No, I didn't either. And then when they announced him, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I love it, So, okay, so basically the idea of this show is if we ran Nintendo. So it's a topic that me and Sean come up with every week, different things. So my thing is this, I'm going to throw it at you guys. If you're Nintendo and you're sitting there and there's 3 Mother games in front of you, Mother 1, 2, and 3, and you can only publish one, which is the one that you publish in the United States and why?
Oh God.
Mother 2.
Mother 2?
Yep.
Why? Yeah, but why Mother 2?
It's the easiest to localize.
Well, I'm not talking about that. You don't go by that stuff. Of course, it's already localized.
I'm making a business choice right here. If I ran Nintendo, that's the one I would release. Excuse me for being a business here.
Is this like the canon choice?
Say it again?
I said, Evan, are you saying this because this was the canon choice?
I don't even know.
In our current timeline?
Yeah, exactly, because it's already done.
Man, yeah, and this is assuming that like none of the other ones came out, or are you? Okay.
Well, the other ones came out, but they're in Japan, so you have the decision to say this one's coming to the United States. Which one would you bring of the 3?
I think I would do the second one because Mother 3, I think part of the reason is of what made man, that's actually a really tough choice because Mother 3 it's like it's a great game, but I feel like part of what makes it so good is because it is sort of a follow-up to the first two games.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of themes in the story. There's a lot of like concepts in the game, like music cues, like characters, graphics, whatever, that are like, because of the first two games, you look at the third game and you're like, wow, this was like the best conclusion, or like this was just a great follow-up.
Yeah.
And so I think if it was released on its own, like, it would still be a good game, but I feel like standing alone, Mother 2 has the better, I don't know, I feel like it is the much more essential experience than Mother 3. That's just me personally, though. Because I'm sure that there are people who would want to like crucify me for that. Because I mean, no spoilers or whatever.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, who was that? But yeah, like, no spoilers. But but Mother 3, like, it's a very emotionally satisfying game.
Yeah.
So I feel kind of bad saying Mother 2, but I don't know. I feel like Mother 2, like, if I had to play any of them again, if I had to pick one just to experience, I would probably do the second game. But I don't know. I could probably say the third one too.
I think the thing is 2. I think Mother typically gets pushed aside.
Yeah.
Because it's dated, and that's part of the problem.
It's horribly dated.
Yes. With Earthbound Mother 2, it basically goes leaps and bounds. But the nice thing, and that's the other thing, like, when you play Mother 1, Earthbound Beginnings, it doesn't even hold up graphically. Where my experience with Earthbound was, like, I bought it when it came out as a kid. When I was a kid, I bought it, shelled out $80-$90 for it because I got the strategy guide with it.
Yep,
and all
the
that
big
stuff.
box.
It was expensive back. Yeah, the big box and all that. So I got it. It just didn't click for me then. And I got rid of it, and I was like, this game sucks. I don't want nothing to do with it. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm done with this. And then when years later, it always stuck in the back of my head, like, why didn't I play that game? Why didn't I finish it? There was things I liked about it, but things I didn't like about it. And I think a lot of my problem was the N64 was sitting there, and I was like, I want that. I want to play my N64. I really don't want to go back to my Super Nintendo and play that. So for me personally, when finally it hit the eShop, what was it, like 3 years ago, 4 years ago?
10,000 years ago.
Yeah, I'm going to buy this thing, and I'm going to play it. And I started playing it, and it was funny because I started playing originally, and I played for 20 minutes here, 30 minutes there, and it wasn't pulling me in. And one day I just said, it was during the summertime, I took a vacation from work, and I just basically stayed home for the vacation with my wife, and I was like, I'm going to try this game. And I started playing, and it just clicked, and I could not stop playing. And, like, when it got its hooks in me, it was game over. Like, that thing, just emotionally gut-wrenching. Like, it's a powerful story, and, and 3, I think, wholeheartedly just, man, if 3 don't grab you by the heart, you have no heart. You don't have a chance, man. That thing is brutal.
It is.
So I think, I can see where you're saying. Like, I think 2 definitely is the way to go, I feel, because that's the one that kind of, like, gets everybody kind of involved. 1 is definitely not the go. But for me, it's a coin flip between 2 and 3. I just don't know.
I completely agree.
I don't know which one I love better out of the 2. I think they're both very, very good. So, all right, so if this all works out and it takes off and Evan gets this on Netflix and he gets his fantasy to come true, have you guys enjoyed this process enough to possibly go to a Mother 2 and a Mother 3 on because this game basically focuses on Mother and Earthbound Beginnings, but have you enjoyed the process enough to, because Evan, you and I discussed this on the phone, like, the same things happened to Earthbound and to Mother 3, essentially. Like, maybe not like the games and the prototypes getting out and all that stuff, but, like, the whole concept of, like, Nintendo going to release it and then stopping and then going to release it and stopping. Like, do you guys feel confident enough to go through this again, or have you had enough?
we've talked about it before, for sure. I think a big part of, like, I personally have enjoyed the process. I think a big part of it, though, is I think a big part of the reason why we're doing this first game in the first place is because there's a lot of like missing, like, blank spaces and like gaps in the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like I feel like we could almost combine 2 and 3 into a single film if we were to do that, just because I feel like we know more about their development process. It's like much more documented.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, Evan, what do you think?
I would love to do this about Mother 2, aka Earthbound,
Yeah.
because there is actually a really rich history of the Mother 2 prototypes as well.
Yeah.
There's an entirely other story that is, I don't know if it's just as interesting. It's very interesting that we could go into as well, and that is something that we have definitely discussed at length and actually done a little bit of investigating into.
Yeah.
And
Where's that guy live again? Like,
which
the
one?
dude, the one like out in Europe or whatever.
Gernot. Yeah, he's in Austria.
That's right, Austria.
We'd have to go to Austria for that one, guys.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. Just add another $5,000 to the Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Hey, support our Kickstarter, guys. We need $1 billion.
Yeah.
Or
So,
people
okay.
will die. Quincy will not buy his Subway sandwich.
No, please.
All right, so I got one more question for you, and so why do people need to see this documentary?
That's a good
wrap it
question.
up with that.
That's a good question. Prearranged questions. Oh man, why do people need to see this documentary? People need to see Mother to Earth because it is the first time that a documentary has ever gone this hardcore into, like, honestly, like the underground world of video game collecting. Because there is this, I'll say it 1,000 times, but there is this underground world of video collecting, video game collecting, where people exchange video games for literally briefcases filled with money. And I know that a lot of this is about, Earthbound, Mother, stuff like that, but the truth of the matter is that really only appeals to a very select audience. The people that already care about this. But there's this whole other side, this whole other half to this, where we go into and we talk about, hey, there is this crazy world where, people are spending $10,000, $100,000 on video games.
That's crazy.
On freaking video games.
Yep. Locked rooms, bodyguards, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and we're not making this up. This is super legit. This is real. This is real life. And we're finally getting to tell that story as well. And that's sort of the hidden story to this whole project.
So are you talking to the collectors and their divorcees for after this is all going down, the relationship side of things and spending this much cash on these games?
Actually, wasn't that one of the jokes in our backer reward tiers? It was like you have to hide this from your spouse or something. Actually, wait, no, you.
The $10,000 reward tier is you get to drive a tank around the desert with us. Like, you get to fire huge machine guns, and you get to drive over a car. There's even an option to drive through a house with a tank.
Get out
Guys,
of here.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I was asking about before. We're talking about Pogs.
Well, now, the $10,000, you, me, a tank, and a house. Only one winner.
Wow.
Fun in the tank.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. That's amazing.
Sean,
How did you line that up?
Yeah.
There's places where you can do that, where you can rent tanks and go to town.
We talked to some people. We got a special deal.
Wow.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Sean's what's some of your best things, and you're talking about Pogs.
Hey,
well,
I like
Pogs.
And movie posters. Really? You could drive a tank through a house.
Yeah, if you're a freaking millionaire, if you got $10K that you want to give to us to make a movie about a video game.
About a toy.
A video game that came out 25 years ago and Nintendo didn't even care enough to release it. If you really want to give us that kind of money, then
Don't sell it out of your own
Yes, that is
pocket,
the
man.
picture.
How do you know that when you send it, when Quincy sends this letter to eToy, he doesn't hear about this and submit 10 grand, and he's like, hey guys, then you get the best of both worlds. You get eToy in there, but then you get to drive a tank with him and have him drive through a house.
That's
okay.
true.
I'm
And then
going.
I will fight you.
Quincy, shut up.
I'll fight you for
Quincy,
tank
shut
rates
up.
if it happens.
Quincy, shut up. Quincy, shut up. I'm talking. I am the producer. Shut up. If Quincy, by some stupid miracle, manages to get eToy's attention, and then through some other stupid miracle, he gives us literally a boat of money, and we drive through a tank together, and then right off into the sunset, I will live stream like me eating literally my shorts. I will literally.
You say literally so much.
I'm being literal. That's why I'm saying literally.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, yeah, that's true.
Oh my
Alright.
gosh.
So
Oh god.
I appreciate you guys coming on the show. This is awesome. I'm glad I'm glad it all worked
Yeah.
out for everybody.
Yeah, no, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, no
Let
problem.
us know.
random guy.
Let everybody know how they can get a hold of you guys, reach you guys, like what Twitter, Instagram, where you guys at? Let everybody know.
All right, we're on like every social media, but you can find us most prominently on our Twitter. We've got a great social media team on that, headed by Quincy. Hey, Quincy.
Thank you. Hi.
And that's at Mother to Earth MV.
Mhm.
So
Yes,
that's Mother
as
to
a
Earth
movie.
MV, because Mother to Earth was taken by I think some weird green company or something. But
Oh, speaking of Green Company, our follower count on Twitter at this very moment is 420.
Oh, jeez.
I just ruined it.
Oh.
Oh no!
Sean just took it to 421. You're so we apologize.
Dang it.
Unfollow
All
him,
right.
Sean.
this
Okay,
is a
you're back.
very
You're back,
This is a-
420.
this is a very professional documentary, guys.
Yeah.
So
Like I was saying, you can email us at mothertoearthmovie@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter, and then we have a bunch of other stuff. Words. Facebook's great. Yeah, and we definitely want to hear from you guys. Honestly, hit us up, please.
Yeah, if anyone has any kind of feedback about the movie, or if they have something they feel like they could contribute, we definitely want to hear from you guys because we want to make sure that we make the best movie possible, where we have all the information, all the angles, so that everyone can know the full story. So.
and anybody that has podcasts or anything like that, they would like to get these guys on their show, hit them up definitely, because I think we definitely need to get the word out there because, like I said, I want this thing to happen. I really do.
Yeah.
I think it'd be awesome. And if you're in Facebook groups or whatever, just share the links to Kickstarter. Like I did it on a couple of different things just because, like I said, I want to see this thing happen. So.
Yeah.
So for myself and for Sean, where are you at?
I am at Sean Capri, like Connery Capri, like the pants. That's it.
And I am at Nintendo Gurus. That is all. Peace out, Cub Scout.
AB, see you later.
Give us money!
Donate, give us all of your, I don't know.
How long is it
Yeah.
since the last time you ate, Quincy? Time is running out!
I